Dello heavy-duty engine oils. Proven engine protection at prices you can rely on, giving you even more reasons to choose Dello. Today we're here to talk about the rollout of Volvo's new F-Series excavators. What's new, what's improved, and what are we about to see on our job sites? Here today is SS. We're going to be speaking with him to kind of go through some of the big overview highlights of what's changed in the excavator lineup. So for beginners, can you list off the models that have rolled out in the new F-Series lineup?
Yeah, for this year in 2024, we launched about 8 models in F-Series, and which is EC210, 230, 260, 300, 370, 400, and 500 for conventional type machine. And another addition is ECR 145F, which is a short swing radius machine. And we changed the model nomenclature, like EC200 to EC210, like 220 to 230, to meet the actual machine weight.
Gotcha.
And also, usually in generation, like D series, E series, and then now it's F series, but we eliminate letter F from the machine decal.
Oh, okay.
So you will see the machine model name, EC, and 3-digit numbers. That's it. But your machine ID plate will show the F series in there. And with this F series, we improved the productivity and try to lower the TCO as much as possible. And also new machine styling. You can see the difference, and counterweight and the right-hand side front access point is different than E series. And also we added a lot more safety features on F series.
Okay. So this is where I've got to own the fact that I am a very much princess operator. And one of the first things I look for are what are some of the cab improvements. So can you give us kind of a virtual walkthrough of what some of the improvements to the cab of the F-Series will be? Sure.
We improved quite a few in cab-related features. Totally new design in the cab interiors, like E-Series machine, and we had 2 monitors. But those 2 monitors are non-high definition monitors. Now, from the F-Series, all the monitors is high definition monitors, so you can see more clearly than E-Series. And as you know, we do have a co-pilot screen, which was about 10-inch screen. But now it's from the F-Series, we increased the size. It's 12.8 inches high-definition touchscreen monitor.
Excellent.
And when you start the machine, you need to ignition key. But from the F-Series, you don't need the key anymore. So key will be just to lock your doors. That's it. And you can start the machine without key, start and stop. And then the other feature is a new work mode and the jog dial control. So we do have 10 different steps, like a idle mode and a lifting mode and the economic mode and the power mode, but not like a D10 type, just a jog dial and whatever mode you want, and then you can control it very easily. And we used to have 2 different types of joystick available for E-Series. Now we added different operator joysticks, which is the proportional type, which is a standard for our market, and the LA joystick, which is well known for control dig assist and VA, Volvo active control, and the steer wrist control, stuff like that. And of course, that joystick will be available, and we added a simplified LA joystick. So total 3 different joysticks will be available. And the other one is on the console box. On the left-hand side console box, for E-Series machine, it was a fixed type console box. But we give the more space to tilt up the LA joystick, and then you can operator will get more space to get in the machine and get off the machine more easily. And the other one is more storage rooms. And as I said, we totally changed the cab interior, and we added a lot more storage areas. On the left-hand side console box, we have the shoe box or any tools you can put it in. And on the right-hand side, the bottom, there is lots of the cup holders. And on the right-hand side, the console, you can have wireless cell phone charger.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and the backside and the cool and heat storage areas, which means you can put your lunchbox or drink, put into the heat and cold box. In the summertime, you can use cool down and keep your cold temperature for your drinks. And in the winter time, and then you can warm up your drink as well, which is using our heater function or AC functions.
That is fantastic. I wish more OEMs would take into account the fact that we as workers carry lunch with us. That's one of my biggest irks about most OEMs is there's just no good spot for your lunchbox.
Yeah, but from the F-Series Volvo Excavator, you can put it in that storage.
Excellent.
And some other improvements are we changed the operator seat completely. And it used to be air ride seat or standard seat only. Now we do have a standard seat, which is a mechanical control, or premium air ride seat with more functions and heater function and the ventilation function as well. And then deluxe seat is air ride and 3 different heater or ventilation seat and also the electric lumbar control as well. And you can add a standard armrest or deluxe armrest. And then another feature is we changed it, side view mirrors. E-series mirror is a standard type, and then we add larger mirror, which is about 1.5 times bigger than a standard one. And then the other feature is a heated large mirrors. So total 3 different mirrors are available. And then in the summertime or in the wintertime when you're working inside the cab, and you may need to sunscreen. And for E-Series excavators, we provide sunscreen in front and the roof and the rear side. But we didn't have on the right-hand side. As you know, and the cabin side and the right-hand side windshield is wide open into the sun. So we add that right-hand side sunscreen. So you can have 4 different sunscreens as a standard. And then one more feature is, have you heard about the CDC control?
The CDC control?
Yeah, CDC, let's say.
I have not, no.
So what about in the loaders? CDC is a comfort driving control, which is you can control your driving with your joysticks, which is popular in the loaders now, and the Volvo F-Series excavators.
Joystick steering.
Yep, joystick steering. It will give them more easy to control traveling and also improve your productivity as well.
Excellent.
So these are cab-related improvement for F-Series.
Yeah. So just to go back really quick, you talked about you only need a key to lock up the cab now.
Correct.
I'm assuming since you have a keyless start, you can protect the machine with a PIN number or some sort of a startup code?
Yeah, and there is the operator code. So the anti-theft code. So we have 4-digit numbers. So you can lock the start function as well.
Perfect. So what about productivity? What kind of changes have been made to the machine and what sort of production differences are you seeing from the old series to the new F-Series? But before we get into that, I want to take a second to tell you about the sponsor of this video, Chevron Lubricants.
These cranes work around the clock for months at a time. If one of these engines ever goes down, it costs more than our reputation. Switching to Delo 600 ADF, it's been a game changer. We've had no issues with clogged DPFs. I mean, no regen lights, no cleaning, no replacements, nothing. This oil goes beyond anything we've ever used. I choose proven protection that keeps our cranes on the job. I choose Delo 600 ADF.
So what about productivity? What kind of changes have been made to the machine and what sort of production differences are you seeing from the old series to the new F-Series?
Yeah, so for productivity improvement, we focused on 2 different ways. One is to increase the fuel efficiency, and productivity slightly increase the productivity as well. So how do we achieve that is we optimized engine and the pump configurations, and we lowered engine rated engine RPM about 200 RPM, but we increase pump displacement. So lower the engine RPM, but increase the fuel pump flow. That makes the same cycle time or same performance or even better performance. But you can reduce the fuel burning from 1800 RPM to 1600 RPM. So 200 RPM less burning. So it'll increase.
Yeah, that's a substantial decrease in RPM.
Oh yeah, of course. And also we increase the engine power as well. And then most important thing is we change it hydraulic control system. Previously pilot control system, now electro-hydraulic control system, and a digital main control valve, electric joystick, which makes faster response time and cycle time. And then our engine cooling fan, we apply the electric fan for all models. Of course, a couple models have the hydraulic fan, so hybrid type, but not the belt-driven anymore.
Okay.
So those make fuel efficiency and productivity improvement. And then another improvement is customized priority settings. Depends on your applications. You can give the priority for boom up and the swing speed, like a 90-degree loading application. You will need more faster boom up speed rather than swing speed.
Right.
So in that case, you can give the boom up priority rather than swing. But in case of a 180-degree loading, you will have enough boom up speed, but you will need a faster swing speed, right? And then in that case, you can give the more priority to swing. So you can adjust the priority. Depends on your application, depends on your preference. And also boom down speed, you can control the boom down speed. So each operator can set their priority, and then they can save it under operator's name.
And so when I go in and I put in my specific operator code, it will automatically preload the settings that I enjoy.
Correct. We can set that up to 10 different operators. And the other one is the auto power boost functions. So as you know, our Volvo E-Series excavator, we had power boost mode. You have to hit the button to activate the power boost function. It'll stay about 9 seconds. Now, from the F-Series machine, if you turn on auto power boost mode from the machine monitor, and then power boost mode will automatically activate it under specific pressure conditions. So you don't have to hit the button to activate power boost mode. And another feature is crimp mode. So crimp mode is typically our travel speed is high speed or low speed travel. And then we added crimp mode, which is a more slower mode than normal speed. And it'll be great feature for when you lift heavy weight and carrying applications. So one pump flow will be dedicated to your travel circuit only.
Beautiful.
So it'll give the travel, and then the other pump flow will control your front attachment, other functions.
So just to reiterate that point and why that's so important, that means that when I start to push my travel pedals, if I'm already booming up and sticking in, that will maintain a constant speed and I won't get that stutter in my hydraulics because now we just diverted some over to my travel motors.
Correct.
Is that correct? Beautiful.
That's correct. Yep. So it'll give them more safety for the operators and other guys at the job site.
Yeah, I'm able to maintain control over that load. That's excellent.
And then another feature is the hammer and the shear piping. We call the X1 piping in the Volvo machines. And you can set the pressure and the flow depends on the attachment, right? For rotator circuit, if you are using rotating circuit, and then you can set the flow and the pressure, same as hammer shear piping. So which will give them more versatility for your rotating attachment. And then the other one, X1 constant flow, which is the hammer shear piping. You can set the constant flow no matter what RPM is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it'll give the constant flow so you will not slow down your attachment speed while you're driving or traveling or simultaneous operation or change the engine RPM mode.
So you're almost prioritizing your auxiliary flow circuit at that point, so the machine will always maintain a certain flow through that circuit, even though other functions are being used?
That's correct. So those are make our productivity and the fuel efficiency improvement for F-Series.
That does kind of lead me down we're starting to kind of move into the technology component of the excavator and all of the kind of stuff going on behind the scenes from a brain standpoint. So what are some of the technological improvements that we're going to see in these new machines?
As I informed you, we implement larger co-pilot screen, and this screen is capable of a Wi-Fi and Bluetooth function, and FM, AM radio built in, and the digital camera input, and you can download your media apps, you can connect to your cell phone, and this wider screen, and you can use upper half for your camera view all the time. The lower half you can use as a dig assist screen or some other screens. And the hardware is about 10 to 100 times faster computing speed than E-Series.
Excellent.
So software-wise, we improved the Dig Assist 5.0, and this 5.0 Dig Assist has improved the machine guidance and control technologies, and also improved onboard weighing. So you will get accurate dirt weight. So you can control your load according to the onboard weighing screen. And from the E-Series machine, we had two grading speeds, a normal and a fine control speed. And now we do have three different speeds: fine grading and a normal grading and a fast grading. So you can easily finish the grading function if you don't need to high accuracies. And another one is additional boundary controls. We had three different boundary limits on E-Series: height limit and depth limit and swing control and swing fence. And then from the F-Series, we added cap avoidance function. So if you provide right attachment information while you operate, your attachment will not hit your cap, which is important for the operator safety, and also reach out limiter. So if you set the reach fence there, and then if your attachment or any part of machine is close to your reach, and then the machine will stop right at there. So total 5 different boundary limit, and also 3 different grading speed, which is improved from the F-Series.
Okay, perfect. So finally, what about improvements to maybe ease of service or safety? Any improvements on those?
Yeah, of course. From the F-Series, all models will have front right-hand side 3-point access. From the F-Series, it's easy and safe to get up and get off the machine. And also, we applied high-definition Volvo Smart View with obstacle detection system. And all the cameras from the E-Series, those cameras are low-definition cameras. Now, from the F-Series, we changed all the cameras to high-definition cameras, and also we added obstacle detection system. We added 4 different radar systems, 2 in front right-hand side and 2 in the back counterweight area. So you can detect a material, object, or people. It'll give the warning signal so you can recognize and prevent any kind of accident in the job site. And for service viewpoint, we increased the service intervals. Like a hydraulic oil and the main filter, it was 2,000 hours interval, but now it's 3,000 hours interval, change interval. And then engine oil filter and engine oil, it was 500 hours service, but now it's 1,000 hour service.
Nice.
And the fuel filter, also 500 to 1,000 hours. But there is a little bit of an exception, and the smaller models, it'll be 500 hours, same as E-Series.
Okay.
Right? So depending on the engine model, you can have the 500 or 1,000 hours service interval. And then the other one is oil sampling port. we added the oil sampling port for hydraulic oil near the accumulator block area, and then engine oil sampling port on the engine oil filter housing. So if you need to oil sampling, and you can easily take oil samples using a vacuum pump and then put it in the bottle, and then you can do your oil sampling. And whenever you replace the fuel filters and you're worrying about spilling the fuel, for E-Series machine, we didn't have a fuel shutoff valve to prevent fuel spilling, but from the F-Series, we added the fuel shutoff valve. So before you open or change the fuel filter, you can use a fuel shutoff valve and shut off the fuel line, and then you will not lose any fuel, and also you will not lose the initial fuel pressure.
Oh, okay, so it almost helps with the priming process?
Yeah, prime, yeah, that's right, yeah. And then the other one is, if you see the E-Series excavator, and in the fuel tank, there are fuel cap and also another small breathers in there. And you have to maintain the fuel breather as well, separately. And from the F-Series, that breather is built into the fuel cap. So it'll give the better ventilation and also increase the longer filter life. So increase your service interval as well. And then we call the LOTO, lockout, tagout switches, and the battery disconnect switches. It's kind of a pain for the operators. Whenever they finish the job and they have to turn off battery disconnect switch, and then next morning before start, turn on the battery disconnect switch. But from the F-Series, you don't have to do that anymore. So automatic battery disconnect switches is built in. And then if the certain specific time passed, your battery will go to sleep mode automatically.
So it's going to automatically disconnect that battery after a set amount of time, as opposed to you having to walk back and disconnect it physically with the switch.
Correct. And then if you need to disconnect the battery switches, like when you're servicing the machine, like welding, and you want to protect your computer systems, and of course you can do manually turn off.
Okay, so there still is a manual component.
Yeah, correct.
I'm going to be honest, I am excited to get my hands on one of the new F-Series machines. It sounds like there have been a lot of improvements, and it sounds like they've come a long way, and I'm excited to finally get my hands on one. Well, thank you, SS, for the time. I really appreciate it.
No problem, and thank you for inviting me.
Well, thank you again to SS and Volvo for coming on the show to give us a rundown of the new F-Series of excavators and just give us an idea of what we're about to see in the field. As always, I hope this helps you in your business. We'll catch you on the next episode of The Dirt.